Of course I'm going to talk about this season of Dropout. It's your game, mommy. We're in the penultimate season finale, part 1, Fantasy High, Junior Year, Dimension 20. This one's going to be short. It's going to have spoilers, but it's going to be short because I'm going to do a full recap of how this two-parter felt as an episode, and then I'm going to do a whole season kind of conversation. But let's jump into what worked in this battle. If you like these videos, you like me talking about Dropout, Worlds Beyond Numbers, and everything, feel free to do the things. But let's get into it in 3, 2, 1. Ooh, we are talking about climbing that mountain, or rather, working through a process that was not explicitly stated. Now, when the Photosynth arrive at the gymnasium and they come in to fight, they know they're going to be fighting the Riot Grinders. They're able to prepare for that. They know they're probably going to be fighting Jace, Starwind. They know they're going to be fighting Porter, Cliffbreaker, right? They're pretty sure that's what's happening. And they've suspected that the Rat Grinders were level 20. They've suspected that the whole time, but we did get confirmation that they're like level 20, but like not all of the features of level 20, like hit point wise and everything. And they come in prepared, they come in ready to go, right? And they start just unloading on them. The gymnasium's all rough terrain, it's breaking up. We see it eventually expand. The battle set and the minis are fantastic, but why I'm talking about climbing that hill or climbing that mountain or chopping away at something that they didn't see is it's about the concentration checks. Now, see, this was gonna be a deadly battle. We had the ship battle, right? And that drained some of the resources. Adine doesn't have any more portent die and everything, so some of the items have been drained. Gorgug was coming back from a pretty low hit point total at the end of last episode, right? So they're not completely full up, but they know that they've got to focus on Caster. They even talked about how they have to get rid of OC. So they have their ideas of who they're going to focus on, what they need to do. They got to be able to pick up wherever the hell Kipper Lily Copper Kettle is. They know Jace is going to have stuff. They know Porter's going to have stuff. Porter's this big, giant, real problem. Force damage with the hammer instead of regular damage. Love that. Love that for avoiding damage reduction. But nonetheless, we're in a situation where it's final boss time. It's BBEG time. And the bad kids don't really have a path through other than we need to knock out whatever's in front of us. But what they don't know is the amount of concentration that's going on between Ruben, between Buddy, between Oshin, between the Jace, who we eventually find is a Jace's. There's a lot of concentration spells going on, and they're whittling away at them with their area effect damage, with their other things. They're using their spells smartly, but whittling away at them to eventually achieve the goal they really need. Because what they really need is A, to avoid the Rat Grinders finding out the new name, and eventually they do fail at that, but not for lack of trying. Like, they succeed a lot to avoid revealing Ankarna's name. B, they need that ballot box, and they didn't know that it was hidden. They didn't know that Jace was going to split into 4 people. They didn't know all of these different challenging concentration checks that they'd have to break through on characters that surely have advantage on them, or very high constitution saves, or any number of things that make it harder, truly harder to get past that. For anyone that plays Dungeons and Dragons, for anyone that plays these tabletop RPGs, they know that concentration checks are rather overpowered. Not the checks themselves, but the spells that they hold, right? If they're able to hold that spells, and if you need any examples, Spirit Guardians, Fly, if they're able to hold these spells, they get a lot more flexibility, right? The invisibility, or rather the banishment of the ballot box, chef's kiss. Dropping that concentration, huge. So what's fun is this first part of the battle, the players just think that they're in a, all right, it's Duke's time, where we're going to throw hands and whoever survives, survives. And their mind is distracted by that, and they're not thinking about the real goal, which is they got to get those votes into that ballot box. They got to make sure that the bag makes it there. They got Maisie with them. They got to keep Maisie up. All these kinds of things that they're worried about or should be worried about is distracted when it's first like fight on sight, let's do this, right? So Brendan doesn't describe this, but over the battle we see them sort of tearing down these walls, climbing up this mountain. And now in the second episode, which we're gonna see this week, part 2 of the finale, we're going to see some excellent execution. Now that they have the goal in sight, get those ballots in the ballot box, now that they can try and avoid the ritual, even though unfortunately Porter knows the name, I just tapped the mic there. It's a great part 1 of the season finale. I can only hope that part 2 is good. This battle is amazing because it's already swung against them, it's already swung in their favor, and they're still in trouble. They have clutch moves happening, they're immune to fire damage, they're dipping into the magma. I'm going to talk about more of those things later, but I want to talk about how we can use this. If you're a GM and you want your players to have a very exciting mid-battle reveal, knowing full well that they're going to come whole hog because they don't like the NPCs, they know they got to get through them with violence and everything, build those mechanics in there, right? Because what's happening is the mechanics of the battle, the inevitability of the NPCs taking damage and having to roll concentration checks and like knocking down those walls is a satisfying mechanic in and of itself. And it was stacked. Arguably 7 bare minimum concentration checks that they needed to get past. That's not to mention things like slow, absolutely debilitating half that party. But we'll talk about that next time. What a fantastic episode. I'm so excited for the finale. Oh, fantasy high. So fucking ready for this finale. Anyway, have a great day.